This was a piece I entered into an art competition for my school district, and this one got me disqualified, at least solely for this specific piece and not the other painting I also entered. Why I got disqualified? So Pinterest can be a wonderful place sometimes, like finding art references to use, for example. I didn't know that for this specific event I had to use my own pictures and imagination. The judge, the poor judge, was so sweet and looked at me with such sadness when she told me my work was beautiful but was disqualified when she pulled it up in the system. But hey, I got a 4, the highest score there was, which means I'm getting good at something. I haven't learned my lesson yet because I still use Pinterest for my realistic pieces, but I put credit where credit is due, if I can find the creator's name that is. But now I'm taking a lot more of my own pictures. Something I've started to do is use multiple references for one project so it can match the image I'm picturing more in my head than just copying for verbatim. I did change some aspects of the reference I used for this painting since this one isn't necessarily entirely realistic if the glowing flower and water were any sign of it. I did this piece because I have an odd fascination with swamps. I am from the Bayou City, so it just reminds me of the Old South, like that rustic, dreamy feel hidden in moss and underbrush, especially with the early 20th century aesthetic in architecture and steam-powered machines, the fashion, and the Industrial Revolution. I know it's a very romanticized comment, but every era has its pros and cons. I wouldn't be caught dead in the South in the early 1900s as being part African-American myself. But despite being disqualified for this one event, I entered into another one of my district's competitions and didn't get disqualified, but got the Judge's Choice Award. That was the second highest ranking there was, but it's the rainbow ribbon, so I'm not complaining. It gives me something to work towards in my free time to continue working on my skills for future competitions and commissions. Right now I don't have the painting. My school district is holding it up on display in one of their admissions buildings, so I'll get it back hopefully before I leave to college, in August, so we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do with it when I get it back. My mom is strictly against nails being in the walls of our house, so all my pieces just sit on a shelf with all my other art projects, and it's kind of getting crowded right now. Does anyone do that? Just cover all their room walls with their art? I've always been curious how that would have looked, probably better than the stacks I have lying around the floor because I have nowhere to put them. Anyways, bye y'all.